Hey guys, it's ArtisanTony. Well, I'm in the shop today, and yeah, it's a little messy, but if your shop is perfectly clean all the time, you're probably not using it. I've got these two drawers that go to two separate wall-hung vanities, and the owner originally picked out vanities that did not have drawers in the bottom of them, and I'll show you at the end of the video when I slide these in what I'm talking about. So the ones she originally picked out were really expensive. She went to this less expensive vanity, but it had drawers, and we had already installed the plumbing and everything. So we've got P-traps in the way. So what we've done is marked it. We're going to alter the drawer boxes here to wrap around the P-traps, which I think will be fine. And the owner certainly saved a lot of money in the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is rip down a piece of cabinet grade plywood to make the sides here of the opening. And it's about 3 inches. This plywood has a beveled sort of rounded edge, so I measured to the short side of that. I don't want it sticking up above that, so make it just a little bit narrow. We've got our big Powermatic table saw here I'm going to use, and let's get set up and rip it down. Okay, I'm going to use my chop saw here because it has the best blade on it. I'm going to cut as much as I can out with it. I'm not cutting. Must be a staple. Don't freak out. Okay, that worked pretty good actually. I'm just going to figure out how to cut that part across there. Okay, so what I'm about to do not do at your shop. It's kind of dangerous, and if you don't have the right skill level, then you're going to screw it up. But what I've done, you can see I've already done this one, is I set my table saw blade at the right height, and I marked the center of it over there. And then all I did was I raised this up and lowered it down onto that and moved it back and forth just a little bit to finish out the cut. The reason I'm doing that is because that is the best blade I have in the shop, and I want this to be very clean. So let's see if I can do this one without screwing it up. started not to even show that because it's kind of dangerous, and you really need to pay attention to what you're doing. But for those who have the proper skill level, it's not a bad little idea. I need to take out that little corner right there. Okay, so now I'm going to drill some holes through here to fasten my little pieces of 1/2 inch AC plywood to the bottom. And you can see here I've got just some paper towels laying down on the bench to protect it from getting scratches on the drawer face. And I'll run a couple down through the back here to hold it into place. Okay, I'm back at the chop saw. So, square up this end just to make sure it's square. Got 2 pieces at 6 9/16. Okay, so the screws I'm using are the little square drive headed Craig tool screws. You can see they have a really coarse thread on them, which is what you want for plywood when you're threading into the face grain of plywood. One thing I wanted to mention was that you really need to drill a pilot hole when you're screwing screws into the face of the grain of plywood, because it'll split it out. It'll actually separate the layers of veneer. You can see here's an example. I got my hole too close to the edge and it just pushed that edge off. Sometimes you want to make sure the bit you use is smaller than the threads. It should be the body, the size of the shank or the body of the screw, not the threads of the screw. And you'll notice I'm putting one screw towards the top and just one, because the bottom screws are going to hold it down there. There we go. Now we can set this in here, see if it fits. It'll fit good, I'm sure. And we'll turn this thing over and we'll drill holes from the bottom. But you see, I put these in first because I wasn't going to be able to get to these back here. So just kind of plan out how you're going to, plan your sequence of fastening. Go ahead and put one screw in just to hold it while I drill the others. You don't want to over tighten those either, because it'll strip. Since you've drilled a pilot hole, you'll strip out that wood if you're not careful.
Okay, let's do the back ones. Get that lined up good. Make sure I'm going straight. There we go. Hurdy.
Okay, so I'm just going to take this sanding block and hit the edges here. Just kind of smooth them out a little bit, and we'll be done. Next thing you see, we'll be at the job site putting them in.